What is up guys, MKBHD here, and in my last video I talked about how I carry both an Android phone and an iPhone, and that iPhone mainly for a couple different apps. One of those apps is Snapchat, or was Snapchat. Snapchat for the iPhone can actually look pretty good. I think you can legitimately make some crispy looking photos and videos with a minimal amount of effort in Snapchat for iPhone. And I'd be willing to bet most Snapchat users use an iPhone. Snapchat for Android is a lot worse, as you can probably tell. If you have anything less than a Pixel 2, which is literally the best camera on any smartphone, you're gonna have a different time with Android. And you've seen this comparison a lot for sure. It's totally different. I mean, it still works technically, but I mean, everyone pretty much knows Snapchat is terrible on Android phones. It looks like you're recording through a fog, like you're looking through a dirty airplane window. But why Snapchat? Actually, I can tell you why. From an app developer's perspective, if you're developing apps for the iPhone, there's only, what, 2-3 new iPhones per year? They've got teams dedicated to developing for the iPhone. It makes financial sense, it's pretty easy. And on top of that, most of their user base uses these couple of phones, so they focus on that. But there are hundreds of different Android phones with all these different screen sizes and resolutions and capture methods. The return on investment trying to develop an optimized version for every one of these new Android phones that comes out is super low. So they've made a sort of a decision to scale a universal app for all of these Android phones, which is actually cool for most apps, but if you actually care about the quality of it, like a camera app might, it's not great. The Snapchat for Android app is literally taking a screen grab of the viewfinder instead of using the camera to take and actually process a photo. That's why photos and videos in Snapchat for Android are trash. You know how when you're looking through the viewfinder to take a photo or a video and it's kind of blurry and it may drop frames sometimes and the exposure is super inconsistent, but once you snap the photo and it processes, it sharpens up and HDR gets applied and it looks way better. Snapchat for iPhone actually talks to the iPhone's camera and uses a processed version and looks great. Snapchat for Android literally just screen grabs the viewfinder. That's not good. So I guess to talk directly to Snapchat, good on you for the beginning steps of actually adopting Google Pixel's visual core and starting to make photos and videos look good on one Android phone, but you actually do need to dedicate yourself to at least the top half or the top tier of quality-based phones. If people are paying more for a better camera on an Android phone, maybe they want their Snapchats to look good too. You should dedicate yourself just a little more to supporting those Android users, but you probably won't. But honestly, the main gripe I have with Snapchat is as a content creator, which I understand is not the normal perspective. Most people using Snapchat especially are just sharing things one-to-one with their friends. But then Instagram came along, and they're obviously a big platform with a lot of celebrities and high-profile users, but Snapchat skews really young, and they don't have that quite same audience. So they couldn't just buy Snapchat, so they just straight up copied everything they do. They made Instagram stories, and it's captured the exact same way, and it's viewed the exact same way. And then they just built on top of it with things like live streaming and polls and super zoom and even boomerangs and all that stuff. So now it's just a way better platform in pretty much every way. And then on top of all of that, they have discovery, which is a big deal. You ever notice that you can't find someone? How is anyone ever gonna find my Snapchat story if they don't have my username or my number? There's no discovery feature or any way to find me. You ever notice you have to hear about celebrity Snapchat accounts from somewhere outside of Snapchat? But Instagram has the Explore page. It features users, it has hashtags, it has location tags. There's plenty of ways to find new people on Instagram inside of Instagram. Now, it's not perfect. I still wish Instagram was actually chronological, and sometimes there's too many weird ads on your feed. It's not exactly what we want, but as a content creator trying to share your stuff with more people, it's already 10,000 times better than Snapchat. For context, here's a little story. I didn't use Instagram stories at all when they first came out. I was actually on Snapchat's side where it was like, oh, that's just a copy. And you know, there's Facebook stories, and even YouTube has stories now. It almost became a running joke that everything's just copying Snapchat. And what could be as good as the original? So I've been working on building up an audience on Snapchat. I'd shouted it out on YouTube and Twitter and talked to you guys about following me for behind the scenes stuff on Snapchat. So, you know, 85,000, 90,000, 95,000 of you were watching each Snapchat story I posted from behind the scenes, and it was worth it. Then once I just decided to just try Instagram stories just on a whim, so I just posted 1 or 2 things over there, and boom, 400,000 people instantly saw it without me telling anyone about it. It's the same reason we use YouTube as a platform for sharing our videos. We could upload these same videos to Vimeo or Dailymotion or Facebook, but the audience and the discovery is on YouTube. So the discovery is there, and then on top of all this, Snapchat just decided to roll out suddenly this update that has just the tiniest bit of discovery. You know, it mixes stories in with regular Snapchats now, so they're all in one place. But it's getting trashed by a lot of what I would call dedicated Snapchat users. I don't even have it on any of my devices. It's kind of like a hitched rollout where some people I know have it, other people don't, but it's definitely not getting received well. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna stop posting on Snapchat stories. I'm just gonna leave Snapchat. Because I don't see them fully embracing the discovery of the individually produced content nearly the same way something like Instagram would, as a platform as a whole. Like, I'm pretty sure you'll never find my Snapchat story somewhere outside of my Snapchat story. Maybe I'm too old? I've had people tell me I'm too old for Snapchat. I'm 24, like it skews super young. I guess this whole behind the scenes video experiment was over in a snap. Look, I think at the end of the day, Snapchat is obviously more personal. It's for, like, if I have a quick photo or a quick video I wanna send someone, I'll use Snapchat. I'm not gonna use Instagram for that. I just wanna send something to one person or one or two people. Instagram is more, this became like a comparison, but Instagram is much more produced content and discovery of that content. Even for regular people, like, you might be surprised how many different selfies people take before they post the one on Instagram. Snapchat's totally different. So Snapchat, you should either stick to being a completely personal app, which I know seems kind of like a bad business decision. There's less money in that, there's less expansion in that, but that's clearly what your current users are really into. Or you go all out with actual individual discovery and make it easy for people to discover other people, not just people they know, but other people who make Snapchat content. Make that easier. But until then, I'll see you on Instagram. Thanks for watching. Talk to you in the next one. Peace. Fun fact, the only Android phone whose snaps actually will look pretty good or comparable to good photos on the iPhone is the Pixel 2. And that's because the Pixel's visual core, this chip that they've put in this phone, actually talks to Snapchat and WhatsApp and Instagram to use a processed version of the photo instead of just a screenshot from the viewfinder. Snapchat supports it now, which is good, but that's the only one. So obviously, I'm still gonna be carrying an iPhone.